In the heart of Africa's arid plains, a snake, covered in dust and fear, slithered frantically, evading a group of relentless hunters hot on its trail. The searing sun bore down mercilessly as the creature's every move was driven by desperation. Every twist, every turn felt like it could be its last, with the hunter's footsteps echoing louder, closing in. Just when the snake felt it could go no further, it spotted a lone farmer working the dry soil nearby. This farmer, oblivious to the impending drama, wiped his brow under the sweltering sun, pausing to catch his breath. The snake, glancing anxiously over its shoulder, felt a surge of last-minute hope. Steeling itself, the snake slithered up to the farmer, trembling yet determined. With a voice barely above a whisper, it pleaded, "Please hide me. The hunters are close, and I am out of places to run." The farmer was taken aback, not accustomed to animals asking for mercy. He studied the snake's frantic eyes and saw no threat, only vulnerability. Though wary, the farmer's heart softened. "Come," he said slowly, "hide inside me." Grateful beyond measure, the snake coiled itself and slid into the farmer's body, finding warmth and safety within. But as the hunters drew near, the farmer's pulse quickened, for he feared they would sense the snake's presence. When the hunters finally reached him, they questioned him sharply, demanding to know if he had seen a snake nearby. Thinking quickly, the farmer feigned ignorance and even pointed them in the wrong direction. The hunters, now irritated but deceived, grumbled and moved on, leaving the farmer alone with his secret passenger. As soon as the danger passed, the farmer felt a wave of relief. He spoke to the snake, his voice a mixture of calm and expectation. "The hunters are gone now. You're safe. It's time to come out." But the snake, snug and content in its new refuge, murmured back, "This place is warm, secure. Why should I leave?" The farmer, taken aback, tried to reason with it, warning, pleading, even demanding, but the snake remained stubbornly within. The farmer's patience turned to frustration, then slowly to fear, realizing that his own kindness had trapped him. As he walked home, wondering how he could free himself of the snake, he spotted a wise heron gliding above. Sensing the farmer's distress, the heron swooped down and asked, "What troubles you so, my friend?" The farmer, grateful for a listening ear, told the heron his predicament. The bird listened intently, occasionally tilting its head, then offered, "There is a way to make the snake leave, but it will take a bit of bravery." Intrigued, the farmer leaned in. "Kneel down and tense your belly as if bracing yourself. The snake will become uncomfortable and be forced to slide out," the heron advised. Desperate and willing to try anything, the farmer followed the heron's instructions. He knelt, clenched his abdomen, and, as predicted, the snake's head emerged, squirming in discomfort. At that precise moment, the heron swooped in with swift precision, grasping the snake in its beak and swiftly ending its life. The farmer watched, a mixture of relief and horror churning in his heart. He was free from the snake, but soon another worry began to gnaw at him. Had the snake left its venom inside him? He felt an invisible toxin within his veins and began to panic. Sensing his fear, the heron told him, "The cure for snake venom requires the flesh of 6 white birds." The farmer's eyes grew cold, narrowing as he looked at the heron. "You're a white bird yourself," he murmured, a hint of greed in his voice. Without further thought, he grabbed the heron and placed it into a sack. As he journeyed home, the heron's muffled cries and fluttering inside the bag weighed heavily on his mind. But he brushed aside any guilt, telling himself it was necessary for his survival. At last, he reached his home, where his wife met him at the door. She noticed the strange look in his eyes and asked what had happened. The farmer recounted the whole tale, describing the snake's deception, the heron's help, and his fear of venom. He proudly showed her the sack with a heron inside, declaring his plan to use it as the first of 6 white birds to rid himself of the poison. His wife's eyes widened in shock and disbelief. "That bird saved your life, yet you repay it with betrayal," she exclaimed, her voice thick with disappointment. "How can you be so cruel?" Her words struck deep, cutting through his earlier resolve. With shame washing over him, the farmer slowly opened the sack, releasing the heron. The heron emerged, shaking its feathers and fixing the farmer with an unreadable gaze. As it rose into the air, it turned to the farmer's wife, fury flashing in its eyes. With a swift, fierce motion, it struck her, blinding her in one brutal instant before soaring off into the distant sky. The farmer, paralyzed with shock, watched as his wife cried out in pain. He was left alone, burdened by the weight of his actions. He had betrayed kindness with treachery and paid dearly for it. From that day on, the tale of the farmer, the snake, and the heron spread across the land, a warning that even the simplest acts of mercy or betrayal could carry unforeseen consequences. Africa's winds carry their story, whispering it among the trees and rivers, a timeless reminder of the fragile line between kindness and cruelty.